Hello addicts, welcome back to my channel. As I said in the last video, this will be my last episode of the first season of the 99. Why, you may ask? Season 1 covered all the decks that I have over 90% completed in physical, even Gaiji, which went to the bench shortly after the video because it needed some fixes but it still has over 90% done. Season 2 will cover the decks that are about to be released from the bench, and again there will be 9 decks. But this time we will check at our last computed deck. This is the Reign of Sphinxes. Sharuum the Hegemon is our commander. When she enters the battlefield, we return an artifact from our graveyard to the field. The deck is a Sphinx tribal deck, but it has some graveyard recursion to interact with Sharuum. The goal? To smash our opponents with a Sphinx army or to combo off, whichever comes first. However, the combo is mostly conditional, so we will focus on the Sphinxes. The deck, as a tribal deck, has lots of Sphinxes. The fact that a lot of them are artifacts also help with Sharuum itself. So obviously we have Sharuum, then we have Arbiter of the Ideal, which let us choose the top of our library if it's a land, artifact or creature when it untaps. Azor the Loveringer not only don't let our opponents cast instants or sorceries for a full round, but it also let us get an Sphinx revelation every time he attacks. Consecrated Sphinx give us 2 cards every time our opponent draws a card. Dream Eater has Flash, let us return a non-land permanent to hand and we can use it to surveil 4, putting all artifacts in our graveyard for Sharuum to reanimate them. Enigma Sphinx has Cascade and also goes back to the deck when destroyed. Etherium the Inscrutable let us search our library for another Sphinx when we guess a card in our opponent's hand when dealing combat damage. Etherium Supreme Judge give us a card when we are attacked. Magister Sphinx makes a player life 10. When Master of Predicaments deals combat damage, you choose a card in your hand, and the player who got hit by it guesses if its cost is 5 or more, or 4 or less. If they fail, you can cast a card without paying their mana cost. Medomai the Ageless give us an extra turn when we deal combat damage to a player. Sandstone Oracle give us cards equal to the number of cards in an opponent's hand if they have more than us. Sharding Sphinx creates an 1/1 artifact Thopter with flying when an artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player. If your opponents have no flyers, this can go out of control quickly. When a Sphinx Ambassador deals combat damage to a player, it basically steals a creature from their deck, only that player can guess which card we want. A Sphinx Sovereign gives us 3 life if it's on tap at the end of turn, otherwise each opponent loses 3 life. A Sphinx Summoner tutors an active art creature to hand when it enters. A Sphinx of Magosi gives us a card and it grows bigger. A Sphinx of Uthuun makes a Factor Fiction. A Sphinx of the Steel Wind has Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, Protection from green and from red. Unesh, Cryo Sphinx Sovereign, makes our Sphinxes cost 2 less. Besides that, when it or another Sphinx enter the battlefield, it makes a 4 cards Factor Fiction. Vexing Sphinx is a weird one. Cumulative upkeep to discard cards, which we use to discard artifacts for Sharuum, and when it leaves the battlefield, we draw cards equal to the number of H counters on it. Wind-Reader Sphinx gives us a card when a creature with flying attacks. Note that not only our creatures, if an opponent has a creature with flying, we get the draw too. And finally, when Genet, Cryptid Sovereign attacks, we reveal the top of our library. If its cost is odd, we cast it for free. If not, we draw it. When we cast Sharuum, we don't want her trigger to be wasted, so for that reason we need some stuff to get artifacts in our graveyard. First, Commander Sphere can be sacrificed for a card. The same goes for Hedron Archive, Mindstone and Dreamstone Archive. Kuldota First Master not only tutors an artifact to play, but also sacrifices 3 artifacts that we can reanimate. And Tomb searches for a card directly through the graveyard. Nephalia Drownyard is used to mill ourselves. And finally, Sequester Stash to mill ourselves too. It mills 4 and then we return an artifact to the top of the library. As Sharuum ability is triggered, we are going to exploit triggered abilities in general, but focusing on Sharuum's. Displace and Cloud Shift will let us blink her at instant speed, so we can reanimate something else. Strionic Resonator will copy her ability. Panharmonicon will double all enter the battlefield's trigger that we control. Conjurer Closet is used to blink Sharuum at the end of a turn, basically reanimating a card per turn. Here is where we are going to see the combos we took while discussing the game plan. We played 3 different combos. The first one is for infinite turns and really easy to play. First, be sure Thopter Assembly and Time Sieve are in play. During your upkeep, the assembly will go to hand and you create 5 Thopters. sacrifice them to the sieve and you have an extra turn. Then cast again the assembly and you're done. The second combo can actually be 2 combos, but as they work very similar, I will put it as one. First, you need to have on the battlefield either a scrap heap or Discipline of the Vault. Then, we need to have in our hand or in our graveyard either the Sculpting Steel or Phyrexian Metamorph. If they are in the graveyard, we need to have Sharuum not in the battlefield, or a way to blink her, and if they are in the hand, we need to have Sharuum in the battlefield. Then we get the Sculpting Steel or the Metamorph as a copy of Sharuum. As they are legendaries, one will die, triggering either the Disciple of the Vault or the Scrap Heap. Then the clone trigger of reanimating something will have its effect, returning the sacrificed one to the battlefield, and you are right at the start. This gives you either infinite life with your Scrap Heap or kill all opponents with the Disciple, and as Sharuum triggers is a May, you can stop this at any moment. The third combo is an infinite mana combo with Grand Architect and Pili-Pala. All you need is a blue mana to turn Pili-Pala blue, then tap it to add 2 mana, which are going to be used by its own ability to create mana of any color, then you just rip it. Another good value play is when you have Kuldota Forge Master and you want to cast Sharuum. If you have 3 artifacts, sacrifice them, floating mana if needed, then search for Panharmonicon, which will then return 2 of the sacrificed ones as Sharuum enters the battlefield. You can also play Sharuum, Conjurer's Closet, and a Score Glass to explode all non-artifacts each turn. For the mana, we run the 3 Signets, Chromatic Lantern, Commander Sphere as we mentioned, Dreamstone Hedron, Mindstone and Hedron Archive as we mentioned too, Soul Ring, and Thran Dynamo. We also play Vedalken Engineer because it adds 2 mana of any one color for artifacts. Then for the lands we run 4 islands, 4 plains and 3 swamps, Adarkar Oasis, Sea of Clouds, Temple of Alignment for white and blue, Cave of Koilos and Temple of Silence for white and black, Darkwater Catacombs, Morphic Pool, Temple of Deceit, and Underground River for blue and black, Vault of Whispers, Seed of Dissinoid, and Ancient Den because they are artifacts, Arcane Sanctum, Common Tower, Drummer's Cavern, and Path of Ancestry for all the colors, Bohuka Bog to deal against Graveyard Recursion, Alimar Depths to fix the top of our library, Adventurer's Failure to tutor an artifact, and finally Nephalia Downyard and Sequester Stash as we saw. To ramp, we only have cost reductions. Chief Engineer give us our artifacts Convoke. Etherium Sculptor and Foundry Inspector reduce our artifacts costs by 1. Mycosynth Golem gives affinity to our artifact creatures. Onesh reduces the cost of Sphinxes as we saw. And finally, Guardian of Evil's Isle reduces the cost of creatures with flying by 1. We play little control in this deck, in fact only Dispatch which exiles a creature we have Metalcraft, and Esper Charm to destroy an enchantment, both of them as instant speed. Aethersworn Adjudicator may not be a Sphinx, but it's great to deal against threats, and Noxious Gearhulk will let us deal with creatures too. As we saw some cards that make us draw already, I'm going to mention only those that we haven't seen yet. Baleful Strix has an enter the battlefield trigger that we can exploit with our third step. Besides that, it has Flying and Death Touch, making it a great blocker. Padim, Consul of Innovation, will in most cases give us a card during our upkeep, as we're going to probably be the player with the highest converted mana cost artifact in the battlefield. It also gives us our artifacts hexproof. Esper Charm was mentioned before, but I didn't mention it can be used to draw cards, or to make a player discard 2 cards if needed. Kindred Discovery let us draw when a Sphinx enters the battlefield as well as when one of them attacks. And finally, Morbid Curiosity requires a creature or an artifact to be sacrificed to cast it, but it let us draw cards equal to its costs. So it's a win-win condition, especially if we are going to reanimate an artifact sacrificed this way with Sharuum. Besides Padim, we only run Lightning Greaves for protection and for haste. Door of Destinies is amazing to pump all our Sphinxes every time we cast one. We also play Mirrorworks to copy artifacts that enter under our control, and it could also be used to double Sharuum's triggered if needed. We saw all of our creatures already, and we saw all of our enchantments already. For miscellaneous cards, we have Word of Invention to tutor an artifact to the battlefield, and Sahil's Artistry to copy an artifact and a creature. And that's the deck. Having Sharuum with built-on recursion is pretty good. You can recover from almost anything, and since the combos are really easy to pull, it's really easy to win. I like, however, to focus more on the Sphinxes, as it's funny to play with them. However, if you really need to combo, as I said, it's pretty easy to combo. You have a lot of pieces that can be switched, basically, and even if they deal against one of the pieces, Sharuum can recover them. So it's really hard to deal against Sharuum if you want to combo, unless they touch your graveyard, for example, a Leyline of the Void or something like that. That's why we run the guy that is not a Sphinx, that I always think is a Sphinx because of the art, but it's not similar. But yeah, anyway, this is all I have for you today. What do you think about the deck? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to click the like, the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, the links are in the description, as well as the deck list as always if you want to check it out. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.